Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back. All right, we gotta get rid of this guy. He's not here with us anymore. Goodbye. See you later. Rhyme, it was a pleasure having him. Unfortunately, that does mean that second co-caster that I had lined up is not quite ready yet. So this next one that we're getting into, you're getting a lyrical solo cast. Let's do it. Let's hop into it. Game number 1, I do believe. Let me just make sure that I turn on the in-game audio as well. We're already a good way into it because that complexity game ended up running a little bit later than we were expecting it to. It is Veggie's Esports Club facing off against Whreck while whistling. And currently, they're looking to actually be in a pretty good position. I will mention that the Veggies was taking a look at who they were going to be facing off against, and they were kind of feeling like they had a pretty good shot at whoever it was that they ended up facing off against in the next round. I think that they're feeling somewhat confident. And of course, if they end up winning this, then that means we are going to have Veggie Esports Club in the regional qualifiers for North America. So not sure if that's going to end up happening, but it is certainly a possibility, and Blitz now going to chase down 2017 with CCNC here. They pop the ulti, can't go for the body blocks yet because of that phase movement speed, but immediately comes out of it. They pull him back in and they get the kill. Weren't able to actually end up making the glimpse work, and this is a very heavy push-oriented lineup. You look at it, you got Slardar there for the Blink Crushes. Obviously does not have the Blink Dagger yet, but by taking all these towers, it's certainly going to get closer to the situation. CCNC is just going to continue to dominate this. DD Rune coming into play beautifully. And then, you know, Necro, you've got the sustain. Looks like it was an off-lane Necro as well. Not what you would have expected. And a Freed here on this gyrocopter, this could be a huge problem. So, like he doesn't have that like natural saving mechanism, a hero that's going to allow him to, like a Dazzle or somebody else. And now slowed up again in a ton of trouble. They have the crush. Cooldown is there, but it's not going to matter. Veggie's just all over him. And this is a huge problem. You look at it, the last couple of minutes since we've tuned in has basically been the defining moments of this game. They've taken down the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. They're tilting over towards the mid lane. They still have Warlock ulti if they want to use it from Franz, and, well, already in some more trouble. They drop down the Static Storm. This means that they're not going to have it for the next fight. So you have Warlock ulti now from Franz, as well as no Reaper Scythe, but still, this is looking very, very much in hand for Veggies. They can just run down these lanes. Almost a 4,000 net worth lead. Blitz ends up killing off Derp on the other side of the map, up here towards the top. And that is even further going to accentuate his movement towards this Blink Dagger, where he's only about 800 gold away, roughly. They pull back in CCNC, but what are you really going to do here? There's not much that they can. Well, Whreck while whistling. Certainly feeling under the gun right now, like people trying to say their name. Granted, they do have the sort of backbone, the strong carry there in KVH who can maybe take them towards like the late game. And it's actually kind of interesting because you've got two very like AoE-oriented heroes. Oh no, did they spot that ward with the... I really hope they didn't spot the ward. That would have been terrible. But you've got two very like heavy AoE heroes in the Gyrocopter and the Medusa, and now the swap back in on Ifrit. They drop the Warlock ulti as well. Fatal Bond's not absolutely beautiful, but meanwhile the Epicenter connecting onto 4 of them. They need to get the heck out of dodge before they all end up dying. They pull back in Cap. He does not have any more heals. He is going to die. So that's 2 big kills. Merlini and Capitalist going down on the Vengeful Spirit and the Necro, and they ended up trading it over for Derp on the Sand King, who gave his life for the cause. So a nice little combination there. It ends up working out from about 1,000 gold swing into their favor, as well as roughly 1,100 experience. But again, ever closer to this Blink Dagger, could end up making the difference. The 5-man that you get right now from Veggies is just so tremendous. I do think that you get to the later stages against this Medusa, though, it's going to end up proving to be a problem. And they certainly have great high ground defense. Go take that bounty rune. How are you not going to take that bounty run? What? Oh, come on now. That's not like a replay bug, is it? Well, regardless, maybe they'll get it on the way back as the camps are going to respawn. CCNC not with the team currently, does not have a TP either, so this is going to be a fight potentially without their Templar Assassin, which would probably be a problem. So he's going to head over here, pick one up, and almost... roughly 2/3 of the way to that Desolator. Bottom lane. Derp. building towards his own Blink Dagger. You're talking with Rhyme about this earlier when we were casting the Whreck while whistling game, and he mentioned that Derp is a player who consistently drafts Sand King for himself, even when it wasn't necessarily the greatest hero in the world. So they have an affinity with it for sure, played in the support role. Gyrocopter, in the meantime, you can see that he's going to be going the patented NA Ags first build, which everybody loves to talk about. It's actually kind of cool. I've seen it tried out a bunch in high-level pubs. I've seen it tried a couple of times in pro matches. It hasn't always worked to the greatest success there, and it's decent. It's pretty interesting, that's for sure. KVH going back for the Lincoln Sphere as well. So Dragonlance Lincolns. It is a game where it's going to be necessary, I think, in a lot of ways. You look at what they've got. I mean, Necro ulti, meh, usually something else is going to be cast by that point. You think the Venge swap, that's probably the big one, although you could make the same argument that if Slardar crushes, it doesn't really matter. Jumping forward, possibly. Blitz just finds KVH right from the start. CC&C on top of him. Mana Shield making him very tanky, but not tanky enough. They find that kill. Another huge one. They are just being pulled apart across the map. And now you're moving in towards mid with Warlock ulti back up again. Yeah, this is going to be a problem.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So Abaddon, I mean, does he have the Guardians coming out to him right now? It doesn't look like it. He just has the mech and the Arcanes, which is still quite good. But this is Deso completed now for CC&C. They're moving into Roshan. Very clearly, Wheel realized that this is happening. They have a great team fight combination, but Gyrocopter is not here as of yet. His TP is actually on cooldown as well. Medusa is back home too. They can't get in there in time. This is a lineup where you have to come and contest that Roshan, and they have the heroes to do it with also. Now CC&C trying to take this fight. They get the crush onto a Freak. He's going to end up falling here in just a second. They drop the Necro ulti. It does look like they get a decent epicenter, but honestly, it's not going to be enough. Derp gonna fall. They pull back in the Abba. He doesn't have his ulti anymore, but honestly, it doesn't look like it's even gonna matter. 4-11, triple kill for CC&C. They are all over this team. My goodness. And it's one of those things where it's just like, it's so hard to necessarily predict that you're not gonna need that, like, you know, TP out to the Roshan or whatever, but it ends up really coming back to bite him. And now the crush on a KVH. They've gone for these items that are very much about farming. They don't have a ton of ability to fight right now. Blitz is going to end up being punished for this as he is eventually brought down. They drop the Static Storm. It's not the greatest one in the world, though. The Cap could get pulled back in. He's out of mana at this point, but they take down the Tier 3 tower, and it looks like that's going to be the extent of it. They glimpse back in CC&C. This would be a huge one, but he blinks out. Oh, last second there. Refraction definitely working the way that they need it to. And he just recasts, blinks again, and they do not have the ability to chase. I think at that point, if you like, you can understand the desire to pull back in CC&C, but with just being able to constantly just jump away with Refraction, it almost doesn't matter. Fatal Bonds onto 3. This could be a huge problem again. KVH. They're there up in front. They pop the Medusa ulti. CC&C does have Refraction on cooldown for another 7 seconds. They're pulling into Cap. A good crush comes in from Blitz. On to 2. Is it going to be enough? They're chasing down this Gyro. He is in so much trouble. They pull him back in. Nice glimpse away, but now KVH is the one that gets turned upon onto. They take him down. Jumping forward. Blink dodging from that homing missile and now trying to get out and away. The crush not going to connect onto the Gyro, but they do find a different kill. So over and over again, you're seeing Whreck while whistling drop. And I'm not going to lie, I am not rooting for Veggies, because if they end up winning, that's going to make casting these qualifiers a hell of a lot more complicated. I know that you're not supposed to be biased as a caster, but come on, it's throw time. Let's see it. It's not looking like that's going to happen. Melee Barracks starting to go down. And it does look like a huge gyro ulti might end up bringing down Merlini. He's stuck there inside the base. They could think about turning onto this. The crush now onto 2. Blitz in front of him. Well, Warlock does have his ulti off cooldown, but not enough mana for it. Yeah, he doesn't have any mana. That Mystic Snake just going to work. The chase will finish with Blitz dying. So they take 2 in exchange for that melee barracks. Not sure if it's worth it, though. So again, 7-14. Pause. What are we talking about now? Not sure exactly what's going on. Someone needs to BRB? The hell does that even mean? You gotta go walk your dog? Oh, okay. He's excited. He's excited. This happens to everybody. You know, you get into a game. Oh, capitalist, what are you doing? You get into the game. You're excited about your scenario. You're excited about moving on. Oh, KVH, well done. That is how you respond. It took him a little while, but he got there in the end, and that's what matters. Oh man. Well, as I was saying, this is one of those games where I think that Veggies felt confident going into it, but winning game number 1, they're making it happen. Oh, and look at him. He's such a nice guy coming back. Sorry, guys. Can we go again? We're going. Take a little drink of my monster and back to the grind. We're doing it. So 20 minutes in, the melee barracks gone in the mid lane. There have been bigger comebacks before in the history of Dota. But do they have the heroes to make it work? I think that they do, but they have to get farm on him. That's the biggest thing. Like, Gyro can punish so hard going up to high ground, but this is a farming item build that he's going for, the Aghanim Scepter. It allows you to farm incredibly quickly, but if they pressure into it, it could end up coming back to bite him a little bit. Also, you obviously have the Medusa, who can become a monster late game. Well, and he is going to be able to escape from the movement up. It just to me feels like with the Aegis, you know, Blink Deso, it would take a pretty big throw from Veggies to not have them win this game. And yeah, they go to Shrines now. Just easy peasy, lemon squeezy to finish this one off. And here we go. You guys ready? We're going to see it now. The farming rate is going to increase so significantly. We're just going to follow him now. You know what? We're even going to do this. Let's see how excited he is about it. Come on, Gyrocopter. Show me what you got. I can take my hands off the wheel now. All right, he's not comfortable going out across the map. That's the problem. All right, farm. Oh, I believe in you, Ifrit. He's going to head over there right now. It's going to be great. Are you ready for this? Oh, the side gunner. And that's how good it is. All right, now we're going back to regular. 7-14. Net worth very heavily into the favor of the Dire team right now. Almost 15,000 net worth lead with right around 4,000 experience. And that's looking like CC&C. It's his world to just do whatever he wants with. Derp is here. And I think a wise decision not to jump in on that. That could have been bad. In the meantime, the pressure is going to continue. They'll try and cut the creep wave here, push out all the waves to the best of their abilities. Maybe KVH can get a tower or force a rotation back. I wouldn't be surprised, though. Yeah, Veggies are just going to go up towards the high ground, at least for the moment. And with the long-range right clicks coming in from CC&C, it's feeling tough. Feeling very, very tough indeed. Doesn't quite get the stomp there from the Centaur. They lay down a meld track for the second. Is going to end up connecting. A little bit of a misplay there. Can they bring him down? That is going to be the Aegis popping. No, it ends up going down. So they didn't have Aegis going into that fight. Now, maybe in a little bit more trouble. Can they make this work? Right clicks onto Cap, pulling him back. They throw out another homing missile. Wheel continuing the chase. 2017 is sort of isolated, as is Merlini. But the big crush from Blitz. Oh, the fatal bonds. Are they going to make this work? Merlini standing tall. It's not going to happen, though. Oh, you wanted it so badly. They don't have the Warlock ulti still to use, and Kappa's going to go back in. They just want to do damage to these guys. The fatal bonds will take care of the rest. But it's not looking like it's quite going to happen. Blitz gets another big crush. 2017 falls. Maybe a Freak going to go down as well. They're just trying desperately to finish it off, and they have taken one. They've taken two. A triple for Cap. It's what they needed. 4 dead. Can they get anything else off the back of this, though? I mean, Sand King still does have Epicenter. He wasn't there that entire fight, basically. Oh, my God. And it was all set up again, I think, by these crushes. I mean, granted, the fatal bonds, it wouldn't happen without it, but teamwork is the name of the game at the end of the day. So, 10-18. It does look like they forced the buyback and are going to retreat now. They don't need to pressure. They don't need to get over exuberant. Just take your time. Make it work.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Oh, this team. This team. Looks like Sanjin Yasha is in the works for the Venge. We've got Blink Force for the Slardar. Mr. Templar Assassin. BKB already online, going back now for the Hurricane Pike. Not sure what Necro wants to go for. I don't know if Dagon is BM at this point. But he could honestly, I think, go whatever he wants. This game feels like very close to in hand. Although I guess it's still throwable. Like, you've got the Ags Gyro, which isn't great, but if it has time to sort of pay off eventually, and like Medusa as well, if you get enough farm on these heroes, maybe you overextend 1 or 2 times in a team fight, you can make it work. It just doesn't feel like that's the type of Dota that we've been seeing Veggies play. They haven't really been like diving always. So almost 27 minutes into this one. Feeling very much closer than some of the other games that we've been seeing through the opens, but still, it's not really. Oh, and they're going to walk in right as Roche is respawning. What? How is that a thing? All right, well, sometimes that just happens. So break the Lincolns, minus armor abound. They can walk into this one if they want with TA. Picking up another Aegis, a short respawn time right as they were checking it. Yeah, this is pretty good. And they'll be able to finish that off. So Aegis, Hurricane Pike, every damn thing online for Veggies. And it is time to potentially finish the game. Oh, that was a little bit misplay, but that's fine. They can head top if they want at this point. The creep wave is going to go in through the mid lane. They might just decide to jump for it. Why not? I mean, you have a DD also on CCNC. So he is going to absolutely eviscerate anybody that walks forward. And like, Gyrocopter doesn't have any defensive items at all. All he has is his Aghanim Scepter. The best thing that you can say about this is it's going to break refraction more quickly than he might have otherwise. And now the jump forward, Blink Crush, going to connect CCNC on top of him. See you later, mister. CCNC is going to just be all over these guys. Granted, the KVH ulti is there. A good Static Storm, and, well, the Epicenter, it did not end up doing as much damage as they would have wanted. The Pipe coming into play there as well for that Necro, who does eventually die, but now lining all up all of those right clicks. That is a buyback now from the Sand King, and maybe they need to be a little bit careful. Without the Necro here, yeah, they're going to play it a little bit safer. So they're able to take down the Necrophos. About as good as they could have hoped for, but you also have Merlini now. Not often you see the Mask of Madness picked up on the Vengeful Spirit, but kind of a unique little pick.
A soldier's fortune.
And he's almost got BKB now. Meanwhile, Aghanim Scepter 300, or rather 700, 600, 550 gold away. I know, NA math, it's great. He picked up a bounty rune in the middle of it. What am I supposed to do? This is feeling to me like a play that they have to make, though, on wheel. You don't have Warlock ulti. Venge, you know, is going to continue stack, but They end up popping it on Illusion, and now Veggies knows what's up. They realize the Smoke Ink was coming. Everybody backs out of there. They're not going to get caught. And ever closer to those final couple moments. Like, this item progression has not been there. So tough once you fall behind with these heroes because all of them want farm. Like, they need it desperately. Like Gyrocopter and Medusa in particular. And when you're getting your map constrained like this, it's just so hard to play from behind. So it looks bad, definitely. But part of that is just because of the way and the heroes that they picked. Like, they wanted to be further ahead than this, clearly. Trying to build back towards the Manta style. Does still feel like even if that item is achieved, it's not going to be giving the amount of damage that they need to catch back up in this game. Particularly against a TA that has just gone off. So the 4 hero movements across the map, ready to try a second time now, as Warlock ulti is about to be off cooldown. As long as they don't all get caught in the Static Storm and the Epicenter, I think that they're going to be okay. If we progressed any further for the Gyro, he goes for the Ghost Scepter. I mean, it's understandable. You have to have something defensive against this TA, but not sure if it's going to be enough. Break the Lincolns, pop the Mask of Madness. I guess just thinking that that was not there is the big reason for that. Forgetting about the Lincolns. To be fair, it's not as if Medusa's been showing a heck of a lot of farm. Wouldn't be surprised if you didn't end up thinking they had it. But they're on top of them. Blink out. They have the homing missile coming in. This is going to connect. Still invis, pops out of that one. Almost out of mana now. We'll get some more of the Arcane Boots coming out in a little while, I'd assume. They have Glimmer Cape as well, so all of these different defensive abilities. That is frustrating to deal with, but honestly, like, there's nothing that they can do to really stop it. They don't have Slardar with them. It's still just so hard to initiate. Incredibly difficult. They're sort of spread out at this point, but now CCNC going up to high ground. He blinks back again. My god, that's a lot of damage. If they could somehow burn the Abba ulti, that would be a huge win for them. But there's the Aegis now gone. And they might end up backing out of this one. Again, Disruptor does have Glimpse here, so not trying to pull CCNC back. They're still sticking around. This might be the moment when Wheel can go for something, and there have been times where Veggies are a little bit hesitant to push up towards high ground. I've been noticing that in their gameplay. They're not always comfortable going for that high ground push. So, almost there. With the Hurricane Pike as well for Merlini. They do have the Warlock Aghanims coming online, and now the 32-minute Hand of Midas after Aghanims, the classic. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you don't need anything else really on this Warlock. Sure, you could go for like a Force Staff or something else to help keep you alive, but the idea is that if you don't win the game, I think in the next couple of minutes, then it's going to be off the back of like these other guys getting huge, and then you kind of need a backup plan. Maybe it doesn't even matter, and he's just comfortable taking it regardless. A nice crush onto 2 of them there. So no follow-up as of yet. CCNC force-staff forward into the, well, Burrow Strike, but there's the BKB already pops. They're not taking any damage from the Static Storm. This is not the fight that they wanted in the least bit. They're going to pop the Abba ulti, turn back in. There's the swap in onto KVH. He's in a lot of trouble. Necro ulti down on top of one. Doesn't quite kill off the Abba, but will finish him in the end. Now, some more trouble going their way. They're not going to be able to take down the Disruptor, but I do indeed believe that this is going to be a dead Gyrocopter. Ghost Scepter wearing off, and there it is. Double for Cap. And with the score 11-24, the movement towards high ground, I believe they might have just done it. I mean, you're back up with these heroes. You have Epicenter. He's going to try and go for one final play. They're still so survivable. There isn't a pipe activatable, but it just only brings them down to almost above half HP. It's not enough. They take down one. They take down two. A third soon to follow, and good game is going to get called as Veggie Esports Club take game number 1 of this best of 3 in their quest to finish off and make it to the regional qualifiers. And I'm not going to lie to you, that looked pretty easy. I don't know if it was, we didn't get to see what happened in the early stages of this game, but they're close to the end here. Man, 0-7 on the Sand King. Granted, it was a support. You take a look at the amount of damage dealt. Just pretty rough numbers for this point in the game. 701 GPM on the TA as well. Really good showing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for this game. We're going to be moving into game number 2 in just a little bit, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. Hopefully my co-caster will be able to join me at that point. I'm going to cross my fingers, cross my toes. And I'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Game number 2, Veggies versus Whreck while whistling.